Heyo, I am Piner. I'm gonna be doing the race with.
Oh, right. Hi, I'm Zelnu, and I completely forgot that Glenn's muted, so I was waiting for him to say something.
Yeah, Glenn is being an awesome champ, and he is letting us use his game audio. So thank you very much, Glenn. You're awesome, dude. Don't mean to mute you, but we will get you back for the meme block. Don't you worry, because we need all the Glenn love we can give. Right? Am I right? Am I right?
Most definitely.
You're pretty right.
All right, so before we get started here, I do want to go ahead and mention that we do have a bonus run incentive for the next run in this marathon, which is going to be the Shadow the Hedgehog. And you guys get to choose whether or not we get to the Choose Your Path, which means you, the viewer, get to choose what Blazing Zeddy does, or he's going to be doing expert mode. So either way, we'll get a Shadow the Hedgehog run in this marathon. It's really up to you guys which one we'll get. So for that to happen, we need to raise $75 until after the Glitz exhibition with Piner. So you do have a little bit of time, but not much of it. So go ahead and get your donations in for that. All right, and commentators, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Sarah from 1313, and I am joined here today by my good friend.
Dice K. Hello, everybody.
We'll be taking care of you today as we get ready for this journey down Hero Story, a race between three fantastic runners. And get your donations in, guys, because if you want to watch pro play Shadow the Hedgehog, I mean, Zeddy is your guy. He is fantastic. I highly encourage you donate. Let's get that expert run in. It's going to be a good time. So, Dad, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about this race? What do you think is going to be going down?
I think it'll be really good. There's Glenn and Piner are definitely going to be really close, and Zonu, I'm sure, can definitely keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Zellnu and Glenn were focusing on some other categories while maintaining their hero story stuff. Piner, I think, has been a little bit more consistent in playing, but when it comes to this game, people come in with different mentalities. Sometimes you don't have to play 100% of the time in order to be really good. So I'm really excited. I know all three of these runners are capable of really strong times, and it'll be fun to see what they can pull out for us today. So I think we're just getting some last-minute things set up, and then once they are going, we will start things off. Hello, everyone in chat. I see some fantastic names of people that I think are awesome in this chat, so that's really fun to see. Thanks for coming out to support both this charity and the runners doing this race. It's going to be a fun one with so much RNG, so many tricks and skips to go on. Holy cow, who knows what could happen? I mean, leads can change, dreams can be made, hopes can be crushed, all because of RNG or CGSS, but that's the other point.
Yeah, I think the three of them go for some of the more difficult strats that it's very easy for something to go wrong, but we'll see what happens.
Right. I mean, these three runners are all in. I forget where Zellnue's at, but they're all really close. And we are getting underway in this Sonic Adventure 2 Hero Story race. We've got Piner in the upper left-hand corner. We got Glenn in the upper right and Zellnue on the bottom left. And good luck to these runners. So, Di, how about you start us off? What can we expect to see in some of these Sonic stages?
So pretty much Sonic is just going to end up trying to go as fast as possible with some very interesting tricks, especially the one in here for City Escape with City Escape Skip. A lot of people are claiming it's inconsistent, and a lot of people claim that it is consistent. That's a huge debate going on in the community, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think all three of these runners are going to be going for a skip, CE skip. I know Piner will get the first crack at it. He'll get off the ramp. Did he take enough speed? Doesn't get it. Neither does Glenn. Zellnu will be the last one. And it looks like zellnuueon's not to go for it. And so all three of these runners will be doing Cityscape skipless. The skip stays about 30 seconds, so it's really, really handy to have available. However, of course, these runners can still get some really strong times. And if you're watching on the stream, we're trying to get zellnuueon's page caught up. He had a little bit of stream delay. He's been having some frame drop issues, and so he fell behind. So we're just trying to get him refreshed so that the timer is a little bit more synced. So we'll see, as it looks like Glenn's going to get the first crack at the truck section. This giant truck chases you. Kind of one of the big things in the Sonic stages is trying not to fly off hills. So the way we do that on this truck section is trying to lower your speed enough so you get over the little lip there, and then you can use your charged spin dash to gain a lot of speed. It's the most efficient way to do that part of the section. Pioneer just had a weirdly weird thing happen to him. I don't know if you saw that.
Not quite. I was looking at Glenn.
He spin dash, and then somehow Sonic like turned around. I don't know how that happens. But Glenn taking the early lead as Pioneer's not too far from him. And zellnuueon, looking at the split timer, zellnuueon's timer is about 5 seconds behind Glenn and Pioneer's. So zellnuueon's actually finished about the same time Pioneer did. So they're both pretty close, despite seeing a bit of a stream desync there. They're actually a lot closer.
Looked like Glenn did he did a homing attack to start it off, so that could have been a really good time, but missed the box on that.
Yeah, so what you can look at Pioneer's screen, what he's trying to do is you can somersault jump onto this box and keep Bigfoot in place. Unfortunately, Glenn missed the box and it took a death, which is going to allow Pioneer to catch up. And Glenn having a few issues on Bigfoot. You know, this boss can be a little tricky sometimes, but he's got a few backup strats. He'll be fine, as zellnuueon is going to finish off Bigfoot as well. So we have an example at this point where anything can happen. I mean, Glenn took the early lead, but a little bit of a mistake, and now Pioneer is in the lead, and actually zellnuueon is ahead of him at this point.
Did I think I may have saw a free piece with Pioneer?
I didn't have an opportunity to check. So if you're unfamiliar with Knuckle stages, you have to get 3 pieces of the Master Emerald. It is RNG. You do not know where they are at the start, so you have to
Pillar?
get these hit monitors.
Oh, okay. I was thinking I saw Pillar without a
Oh,
treasure.
yeah,
no.
he didn't get that. But these runners have to know what the hit monitors correspond to what piece, so you have to know the hit monitors, which will tell you where the pieces are. And Glenn actually got a little bit better RNG. Pioneer getting a little stuck there, so they're actually about even at this point.
Yeah, this is perfect.
As actually zellnuueon did miss a free piece. Alter with 6 pillars is a piece that hovers around. So he unfortunately missed that. But he'll have a few more cracks to get back ahead in this race, as we got Pioneer and Glenn moving into Eggman 1. Really, really complicated boss fight. You hold forward, you press X, and you win.
For whatever reason, though, I've been having issues with this boss. He just decides to run off to the side, but way before I think he really should. So there's still some things to figure out, I think.
Yeah, the AI for the bosses is all manipulable, and so sometimes the AI will do some funky things, but overall it does the same thing. Typically, Eggman goes over to the right when he comes down far enough. However, sometimes he'll go to the left or do other wonky things that doesn't happen often enough to really know how to manipulate, but for the most part, the same thing happens every time.
Okay, so we're starting on the first actual
Ooh,
tail
it cleansed
stage
it!
with person. Ooh,
Oh no, he shortchanged the jump there. You don't want to do that, and that's actually going to give Pioneer a big lead there, as looks like zellnuueon had some steam issues there, but it looks like Glenn and zellnuueon are pretty close together, as Pioneer's going to take an early lead due to the death that can happen sometimes. You can get underneath the floor, but you can't short hop the jump. Different pressures on the A button will result in different jumps, so a lighter tap will give you a shorter jump. So just a bit of a miscue by Glenn, but he'll make up for it. He's a good runner. He knows how to adjust.
yeah. And to go along with like tail stages and like what the goal is, it's really hard. It takes a while for tails to get momentum back up and going, so a lot of the stages are planned around trying to keep your momentum. And so what you will see the runners be doing is jumping around corners because that will actually keep their speed. Whereas if they just try to turn it without any jumps, it's very easy for them to slow down.
Right. The main game for Prison Lane is locking down enemies, opening those gates, carrying your speed as best you can, which it can be quite difficult to do. You'll also see Piner about to attempt a gate hop. You might have seen one earlier. Barely missed it, but if you could get onto that as that gate comes on, you can hop onto it. It saves about 2 seconds, so it's a nice little time save for Prison Lane. Piner going to be finishing up Prison Lane as Glenn's going to take his shot at gate hop number 2. Actually, a 122 check. Pretty darn good considering the death. He's going to do a very nice weight drop, and he's going to end up with a really strong time. Going to get a 136. Very well done. Unfortunately, it took about a 20-second death, which kind of minimalizes the gains, but zellnuueon not going to be too far behind, and Piner going to be taking about I would say about a 15-20 second lead or so over second place.
Yeah, that 136 from Glenn, that's a very, very decent time. So that definitely helped to make up for the mistake for that death.
Right, and it's amazing too. I mean, Prison Lane is one of those stages where there's a lot of small optimizations. Like Ethmar got a 132 in a race we did yesterday, which is absurdly good. But at any rate, now we're on to Metal Harbor. The main part about Metal Harbor, you don't want to fall in the water. Deaths are bad. You get the light dash. As Piner going to go for a nice little skip there. Nice job by him doing a bit of a makeshift strat that he has come up with for himself. So a nice little swag coming up from Piner. Using the light shoes, you can go along lines of rings. It's going to help these runners get through parts of this stage and later stages as quickly as possible. Glenn's going to do a pulley jump skip. Good job by him. May have missed it. Piner did a rocket jump. You'll get a chance to watch Glenn and zellnuueon do the same, but you can use angles to get Sonic a lot of extra height. Which will help us to hit the spring and get onto the rocket a lot sooner. That's really helpful.
One of the minor things that took me a while to learn because nobody ever told me about it and I never noticed. If you're mashing the A button when you're on the rocket, you'll actually jump off. I think it's like 5 seconds sooner. So it's just a little optimization that just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, definitely. All three runners getting good rocket skips. Another thing that another, I guess, mechanic of Sonic that you'll see throughout the run, and especially on this next boss, is a trick we call storage. The spin dash and the somersault inputs are on the same button, but if you kind of do a hybrid where you don't tap it, but you don't really hold it for too long, you can store the somersault properties without actually doing the somersault, which is going to be really helpful for Shadow because essentially you can run into Shadow's hitbox, but you're only supposed to be able to hit him from behind. But if you go in front of him, you kind of go underneath it, and you can damage him. So you're going to watch Piner and the other runners face plant into Shadow and damage him because of storage.
Piner having some issues with Shadow doing a high jump.
Yeah, but overall, pretty good fight.
Yep.
Glenn's going to take his shot at it. Gets a high jump. Going to recover nicely from that. And he's going to get a 1250. With a high jump, that's actually a really strong time. I get a 1250. I usually get 11s when I get a high jump. Or 13s, I should say. So that's pretty good. You want to talk about Green Forest, everybody's favorite stage. That's a joke. It's not.
I don't know. It's a pretty fun stage. It's just, other than that, you might have a mushroom or two in the way.
It's a pretty rough stage to do super well in because there's a lot of ways you can die, or you can get thrown up in the air. It's hard to optimize Green Forest.
Mm-hmm. Probably one of the more interesting tricks that come into the stage would be the Green Forest wall run, and I believe both Glenn and Piner will be going for it. Basically, we can just take the loop speed trigger and throw ourselves at a giant tree and then run up it. Sounds easy, kind of, but it's really not. And to try and stay on the tree as well as to make the jump onto the next platform can be difficult.
Yeah, if you're kind of confused about it, you might have seen Piner going upside down. The reason that Sonic can do that is because there's a trigger on the loop that allows him to do that. we're going to store that trigger, as Dai was saying, in order to get around the tree, or around the loop and onto the tree. So we'll see. Pioneer's going to get the first crack at it. Had about a 10-second lead from him over Glenn. And he's going to, he unfortunately was not able to get onto the tree. You have to get around the trigger. Glenn's going to miss it too. I'm not sure if he's going to reset and try again, or just going to try to, what he's going to do.
Is he really trying at that camera angle?
Yeah, Pioneer not going to do it. Glenn's going to not do it. It looks like we're not going to be seeing wall run, unfortunately. And yeah, like Glenn just fell off there. That's because the Sonic's angle and how he held the control stick along that light, or that ring dash, was just a little off. So just a lot of really small intricacies about Green Forest.
Mm-hmm. So if they had done the wall run, this is where Glenn was at, is where they would have ended up landing, and they could have skipped that entire jumping up the platforms as well as the jump to skip the pulley.
Yep. And now we're moving on to Pumpkin Hill, the second Knuckles stage, so the second heavily RNG stage. The stage is composed of 3 mountains: the church, the pumpkin, and the ghost train mountain. And though there's usually how it works is there's kind of 1 piece per mountain, but the RNG can be a little bit kinder or even a little bit worse than that. So we'll see. See if Pioneer goes. There's a little strat you can do where you can grab the hint upgrade. Yeah, he did it. So he canceled the upgrade text by getting a hit monitor while running into the upgrade. Glenn did the same thing. Good job there. Pioneer's going to get a pretty brutal second piece. Requires you to look at for a second hit or guess, because Saturday Pumpkin can be in 2 locations. There's no way to distinguish that hint monitor, unfortunately. As zellnuueon finished up too. Glenn going to get a much better second piece. And actually, Pioneer guess right. Ooh, going to get a pretty nice third piece from where he's at. It's not too shabby.
Took some chances, but it paid off.
And Glenn's actually going to get the same third piece. Going to get a little extra height so he can get to that piece a little bit easier. Ooh, zellnuueon getting double containers. This locations. Did not get the good location. Hopefully he doesn't get it on Pumpkin. To get it on Pumpkin is definitely the worst. And he is. Oh, no. Poor zellnuueon.
Hopefully the rest of the pieces line up nicely.
Yeah, you hope so. Pioneer still maintaining a lead through Pumpkin Hill. Glenn is hot on his heels, and zellnuueon going to need a little bit of help to catch back up. Going to get a pretty good second piece, though. You do have to remember zellnuueon's timer is about 15 seconds behind the other. Oh, actually, zellnuueon, despite that first piece, is actually going to get a pretty nice second and third piece. So zellnuueon is not as far behind as it looks. He's probably, I would say, 10-ish or 12-ish seconds behind Glenn, maybe a little bit more than that.
So Pioneer just picked up Tails' probably one of the most interesting upgrades because you can do a lot with it. So to use the hover, you have to double tap A and then you hold it on the second tap. And the faster that you double tap A, the more height that you can actually gain, and you will actually be able to jump higher than the developers intended. And that allows you to skip past multiple parts and get to areas that you really shouldn't have been able to.
You might notice the runner is using a pause buffer. The reason they do that is you get more height the closer the A button inputs are. So if you pause buffer the frame, the game thinks that you press it really, really quickly and you get a ton of height off of it. And it looks like Pioneer's on 0 cycle pace. 0 cycle is the fastest cycle you can get. With that mistake, we'll probably have to end up getting half cycle, which is about 7 seconds slower, but not a bad cycle to get by any means. Glenn, I think he's probably not going to make it. Might go for it. No, he's going to opt for half cycle. Would have been way too hard to make that.
May as well play it safe at this point.
Yeah, it's a marathon. You don't want anything too risky. And instead of losing 11 seconds, he's only losing 7 seconds. It's about a 11-second difference between cycles.
Ooh. I couldn't tell if zellnueon intentionally went down there or what happened.
I think zellnueon does that. It's a strat that he prefers to do, if I remember right.
Okay.
I think he's on first cycle pace. So should be able to get a pretty clean first cycle from this. Yep, he'll get first cycle, so about 4 seconds slower than how Glenn and Piner did. But overall, not too shabby. Both runners, Piner and Glenn finishing up as zellnueon. Not too far behind. Probably about 25 seconds or so behind. Maybe more like 30 now with the missed cycle there. But anything can happen. One good set of RNG, a mistake from the other two runners, and zellnueon may find himself back in the lead. So it's definitely not over.
Yeah, there's still definitely some very punishing tricks up ahead as well. Yeah.
Aquatic Mine. You can see free pieces in the cutscene if they just so happen to spawn. I didn't really catch if Glenn got it. I looked at Piner's screen.
Yeah, I didn't see any from Glenn.
Oh, Piner got Guardian of the Switch! Okay,
Oh.
Piner just got a really good piece. Got to get a free piece, actually. This is why we kill the beetle like that. Holy crap, getting main pillar. Piner is going to get an obscenely good set on Aquatic Mine. Holy cow, a 29 coming out from our good friend Piner.
That was a really good set of pieces.
Glenn struggling to get a second piece.
That, Spiral Upper was
We'll
not
see
being nice to him.
Third piece is probably in the Ghost Room. Floating with Ghost. Not too bad of a set. Lost a little bit of time grabbing a second piece. But looks like the rich are getting richer as Piner is taking a dominating lead at this point.
See how zellnueon does with pieces. I don't think he got any free ones.
And I'm going to get a first piece in the Ghost Room. Not all that good, unfortunately. Oh! zellnueon just got the worst piece possibly in the game. Minecart dumping area. That piece requires a ton of time to get because you have to go underneath the water. That is some horrible luck. Absolutely horrible luck for zellnueon. And that is a tragedy. He's going to be losing quite a bit of time. By no means, it was not anything he did. He just got unfortunate luck. As Glenn about 30 seconds behind Piner as both these runners are entering Route 101. The way this stage works is that you get 20 rings and you get a boost. Now, you might be wondering why the runners are drifting. You might notice Piner is backwards right now, which is a fun little strat you can do on this stage. When you drift, you remove a deceleration cap that exists. So normally when you boost driving normally, you automatically slow down after a while. But when you drift, that speed cap is removed. So you keep any speed you get from boosting going down hills. You still lose speed, of course, if you hit cars or go up hills. But overall, helps you to control Tails' movement a little bit better, as well as maintain speed as best you can.
And with the backwards driving, it doesn't actually reverse the controls, so it's definitely just something a little fun to do. And if you set it up, if you know how to set it up properly, it only loses at most maybe a second. So it's definitely fun to show off for marathons, and Piner pulled it back up again. Okay.
Yeah, Piner just really feels determined to go backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can essentially use walls to push Tails' animation while drifting to be backwards. Why you can still control him the exact same way, don't ask me why don't ask me to make Sega games make sense. But Piner actually having a couple of issues. It's actually going to allow Glenn to catch up a little bit. Still probably a good 20 seconds or so behind Piner. Unfortunately, zellnueon is going to really have to make up some lost time for some really tragic RNG. We'll see how he can do on this Route 101 and going later into the desert stages.
.222, not the greatest, but that could also be attributed to the trying to drive backwards multiple times.
Yeah, I lost a couple seconds there. He hit a couple cars, too, that were not good for him to do. And Glenn actually got a 214, so saving 8 seconds over Piner on this particular stage.
That's really good for the stage.
And now hidden base, a very technical tails level, really, really difficult to do. There's a lot of strats you can do. We'll see if Piner, I think, will go for pole jump here. Yes, he will. He's actually going to get on it. Oh, but he misses the second jump. So essentially what Piner tried to do was get onto that pole. What you can then do is you can do another hover jump, and you can actually get over a wall, and it saves like 6 seconds over doing the stage normally. Instead, is going to opt for the 2-second time save, which is axle jump. Looks like Glenn was going to go for GC skip, which is pushing tails through a couple of walls, which gets him around. That saves 4 seconds. Glenn's going to opt to do things normally, struggling with the axle jump, which is a normal 2-second time save that you can do. So both runners attempting hard strats, although here's the thing. Yes, they didn't get it, but they knew when to pull away. They knew how to adjust, and that's important because if either of them had continued to go for the strat, they would have failed it and lost more time. So good heads up, good veteran plays by Piner and Glenn on their respective hidden base strats to know how to minimize time loss.
Hidden base is probably one of the more entertaining of the tail stages just because of how technical it can be and how many times you can go out of bounds.
If you're wondering why it's called GameCube skip, the reason is that wall in the GameCube version, and only in the GameCube version, does it not exist at all. So in the other versions of the game, you have to go through a solid wall. In GameCube, for whatever reason, that wall doesn't exist.
It was there, disappeared, and then it came back. Developers are weird sometimes.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's definitely
152 from
infinitely easier to get that on GameCube. But I don't know. I've never tried speedrunning the GameCube versions. But at any rate, we are now entering Pyramid Cave for Piner. This is a very technical Sonic stage, going to have a lot of little nuances, as well as getting an upgrade that will significantly break the game.
That was easy.
Do you want to talk about the bounce bracelet a little bit, Dai?
Sure. So the upgrade that they're about to get is the bounce bracelet, and what it can do is we use it for a couple things. First would be to gain a lot of height, and what you can do is if you're running at a wall and then you jump and bounce before you hit the wall, then as soon as you hit the wall in ball form, it will just shoot you up forward and basically transfer all of your forward momentum into vertical momentum. So you just go flying up, and Piner just demonstrated that there with the first door skip. And then later on, we will be using it to manipulate gravity. And for whatever reason, if you're just at an angle and then you are falling, you can just bounce and you'll kind of keep that angle. There's ways to break out of the gravity if you need to, but that's what's going to end up happening here soon with Piner and Snake Skip.
We'll see if he can do it. Going to grab the checkpoint for safety. A smart idea on his part. Glenn is going to prove that doors do not exist. And we'll see Piner getting on the snake. Gonna get his angle and gonna have a very beautiful snake skip. A good snake skip coming out from Piner as he is cruising along in this pyramid cave. Glenn about 20 seconds behind. That's certainly not out of it yet.
Ooh.
Glenn is going to take a bit of a death. Did he grab the checkpoint? He did, so he only loses a little bit of time. He actually almost reset. He shouldn't.
Yeah.
If he had restarted, that would have been a problem. But Glenn's going to go for Snake Skip 2. Going to get it as Piner finishes up. Zellnuueon entering Pyramid Cave.
Yeah, with Glenn almost restarting, it's hard to break that muscle memory, and a few times you just hit start, go down, you're like, wait, nope, don't do this. Bad thing.
Glenn going to go for the final gravity bounce. A little low, but he's going to be just fine. And now Death Chamber, and it is death because RNG can kill so many runs. Piner looking for a couple free pieces. One little strat that we use in Death Chamber is if you get a piece in the blue room, we do a lot of death strats. And he's actually going to go for a little clip here. We call booty clip because you get behind the butt of this chest to clip out a bounce. And when you get a piece in the blue room, there is a really high percentage you will, if you were to be in the red room, your second piece will be in the red room. So we intentionally kill Knuckles in order to try and get a second piece. Looks like, yeah, okay, Pioneer is going to do death strats because Burning Mats are really far away. And is going to hit it, so he did get a second piece in the red room. Every time you die or restart, your RNG changes. So it's not like, okay, I have 3 pieces, and no matter what, I'm going to get those pieces. It changes every time you reset or die. I did not see Glenn's first piece, but it looks like he's going to be gunning for his second piece. His Pioneer has actually had a pretty solid death chamber. Ooh, Glenn's going to get a free piece. That's going to really help him out. Pioneer going to get a 57 with 1 death. Looks like Glenn also got a death, but he's going to get a huge bug, and he's going to get a 48. I believe he did do 1 death strat as well. So Glenn going to be picking up a couple of seconds on Pioneer. zellnuueon is about to finish Pyramid Cave for his own, and we'll see how his RNG. Oh no, excuse me, I'm at the wrong part of the stage. I got confused by the graphic of the area. Apologies. He'll be done soon. zellnuueon's got this.
Huh? Who's there?
Kane Boom Boo, one of the can be a tricky boss. Actually, is going to have a significant optimization. Now, if you play the game casually, you know. Well, every time you hit Boom Boo after you dig him up, he's impossible to hit. Well, that's not actually true. He does run fast, I'll give you that. But you can carry Knuckles' momentum after each hit, and you can one-cycle Boom Boo. So we're going to see if Pioneer can pull this off. Going to get the first hit on Boom Boo. Oh, actually going to miss it. Oh, that's a bummer. That happens sometimes. And actually, with that reset, Glenn might take the lead. See if Glenn can get Boom Boo down. He's going to get the second hit. We'll see if he can hit number 3. He's going to hit it successfully and have 1 cycle. Very clean coming out from Glenn. A good job by him. Pioneer going to have to make up some lost time, giving the lead back to Glenn. But this race is far from over yet. Plenty of bosses, plenty of strats, and this race could change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the next boss is definitely going to be interesting. See how well the super bounces go for everybody. So this boss uses the bounce bracelet again to try and gain a lot of height. The only problem is the lip of the wall that they're trying to get onto is extremely low, and I think it's about 5 frames you have to do the proper button inputs to actually get the height that you need.
Yeah, it's a pretty small window, and actually Glenn's struggling with Egg Golem. Pioneer actually is going to be ahead of Glenn now. Glenn going to get a ballerina. Egg Golem's going to spin around, and that makes this fight a lot more challenging because Egg Golem does not behave how you would want Egg Golem to behave. Going to get his 3rd hit. Pioneer going to get the 4th hit. Glenn going to get the 4th hit as well, and looks like Pioneer's going to opt for safety. And he's going to hit the last hit. Glenn's going to hit the last hit, and Pioneer and Glenn are essentially synced at this point. Mere seconds, frames.
Yes, Egg Golem definitely takes things to a different level. With those super bounces, don't work out that well.
zellnuueon going to be on Boom Boo himself. He's going to be getting his chance at Egg Golem as well, as these 2 runners are going to be entering Eternal Engine. Small optimizations. Pioneer missing a little bit in the first room. Going to give Glenn the lead. We're going to see a lot of back and forth in this room. Both of these runners are going to be going for the first cycle in the stage. Similar to Mission Street, you got to get a certain set of platforms. If you can get there fast enough, you can save some extra time. So we'll see if these runners can do that. You'll notice the runners are jumping before they enter the doors. If you run full speed, the doors don't open in time and you just bonk, which is slower. They're essentially synced at this point. This is insane. Glenn and Pioneer are so close. You're going to be doing small optimizations, trying to carry their momentum. This rocket can be a little tricky. You want to get a good hover boost, as Glenn's going to get destroyed by the camera, it looks like. Pioneer going to get his hover boost. He's going to make it over Glenn. I think Pioneer can get first cycle. Not sure if Glenn will be able to. We'll see what kind of checks they're going to get. With the 106, Pioneer can do it. Gonna get a good first hit. I don't think Glenn will get the first cycle. We will
Yeah,
see.
108 without the quick shot.
Piner gonna be risky. He's gonna get it. Okay, he is gonna hit it. Glenn is gonna have to wait for the elevator to come back up. So Piner actually struggling to clip out. And despite getting a faster cycle, if Glenn can get first clip out, he's actually in the lead again.
Oh, gotta love marathon races.
And despite that, zellnueon, he's only about a minute and a half behind, so if something goes horribly wrong, he does have a chance. Had a pretty clean egg golem. I caught out of the corner of my eye. Piner and Glenn, though, they are neck and neck at this point. Both of them have a visual cue. You can fall into the goal. We didn't even talk about it. I'm so used to the eternal engine skip. It's almost like it's normal. Yeah, you can clip out of that generator, by the way. And you can save a lot of time. Looks like they're trying to be careful. Looks like Piner's going to find it. He's going to finish it. Same with Glenn. And I think not even a second separates these two runners right now.
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely to the second.
And now we have RNG. RNG is going to potentially swing this race entirely. Meteor herd comprised of a large bottom area, some platforms in the middle area, and a small top area. We're going to see how RNG does. This is going to potentially affect the entirety of this race. We'll see how these two racers do. There's some good combos. There's some bad combos. Looks like Glenn's going to get a piece on the bottom. Piner's going to get a more favorable piece on the top. I don't know where Glenn is going, though. It looks like his own little strat to get that piece. Piner Glenn's going to get the worst piece.
I knew it.
It's an awful piece. The RNG is a disaster.
This is why
Piner going to have to go down.
This is why most people reset when they get a ground piece, because it has a very high chance of getting floating stone.
Oh, no. Piner not going to get the best second piece. Glenn's going to have to pray Piner gets a piece in the top. We'll
Powerless.
see.
No.
He's actually going to get two ground pieces. Piner's RNG is insane.
Oh, my goodness.
Insane RNG. And Piner's going to take the lead. We'll see what Glenn gets for his last piece. Oh, my gosh. Going to have to go. Glenn getting absolutely destroyed with RNG, essentially as bad as zellnueon got in Aquatic Mine. Glenn's going to get in Meteor Herd. That's a heartbreaker, but it's not over yet. Piner, I believe, is going for CGSS, and that skip is not an easy one to get. See zellnueon also.
That bottom, top bottom. Goodness.
That is about as bad as you can get. We've seen some horrible, all the terrible pieces have come out for this marathon run. A minecart dumping area, as well as floating stone. And Piner is actually struggling on Rouge.
No.
Is he going to give Glenn the lead back? He's not going to make it. The floor is going to open up. He's going to have to get this last hit. This makes the fight a lot more challenging. And it looks like he is trying to, is going to beat Rouge. Going to recover well, but it's going to give some time back. We'll see. Can Glenn make up some time? Going to try to lock Rouge into place.
Okay, it looks like Glenn's got it.
Yeah, so you can lock Rouge's AI in place. Gonna save some time. Gonna come back a little bit, but Piner is gonna have a little bit of a head start. zellnueon gonna get a pretty decent first piece on his Meteor Herd, and we'll see. Glenn, I believe, will go for CGS. Will Piner go for CGSS, the super skip, the better, faster skip? We will see. Piner about 13 seconds ahead. zellnueon going to get a second piece on the bottom. Glenn not too far behind Piner. And we will see Piner's coming up on the checkpoint. We will see where he goes. Will he go for CGSS? If he does, it could be the dagger. It's hard to come back. CGSS being about 30 seconds faster than CGS is going to go for CGSS. See if he can get the setup. He's going to do the spin dash. Is going to get out of bounds. Gets through some invisible kill planes. Can he rotate appropriately? If he can get his right angle, if he can aim it right, will he hit the goal ring? We'll see. And he hits it! Piner's going to hit CGSS, saving a significant amount of time over Glenn. Glenn going for the normal CGS. And we'll see. Eggman 2, Final Rush, and Shadow 2 is all what separates Piner from victory. Getting CGSS, that skip is no small feat. A fantastic display of skill by all three of these runners. Pioneer going to use an insane strat to take a convincing lead over Glenn, but it's not over. Two bosses in another stage can still swing everything, as looks like zellnuueon is going to be... Oh, and Glenn misses CGS. Just mistimed it. Happens to us all. It's all good. Doesn't matter. You know, he'll get it a second time. He's fine. As Pioneer going to do some nice little swag stats to take out Eggman 2. Glenn's going to take his second neck at CGS. He's got this zellnuueon, going for Rouge, and we'll see what he does. I believe zellnuueon will do CGS as well. And we'll see. Now, there is 2 skips you can do on Final Rush. You can do Final Rush Skip, which allows you to use the bounce bracelet to get around kill planes and follow the end of the level. Or you can go for a skip that's 10 seconds faster that has a 12% chance of working, where you're essentially trying to pray that kill planes don't load. Nope, Pioneer is going to go for the safe strat. Glenn is going to succeed in CGS, as zellnuueon looks to be entering CG or Crazy Gadget himself.
No problem.
Pioneer's got a pretty good angle. He has to time it right. He doesn't want to lose too much height because he won't make the goal ring. Is not going to hit kill plane. He's going to get around it, and I think has plenty of height, so I think he's going to get the skip. He is holding forward, by the way. He is holding forward. Now let's see. zellnuueon going for CGS.
Got the jump.
Nice. Going to hit the chaos. Very good, very good. As Glenn is going to have a 14 Eggman 2. Really, really strong Eggman 2 coming out for Glenn. Really good job, as Pioneer should have plenty of height. I don't think he'll hit the kill plane. Looks like zellnuueon to death. Yeah, Pioneer probably want a little bit more height, but he should be okay as Glenn enters Final Rush, the final stage. And Pioneer's going to do just fine there. zellnuueon going to take his second crack at CGS himself. We'll see. Pioneer has 1 boss to go. Shadow 2 can be a pest sometimes. Looks like, zellnuueon actually soft locked. If you hit the ground with that one, he should have gone maybe for the chaos to kill him, but he's going to opt to reset instead. So unfortunately, zellnuueon had a couple of issues there, so he'll have to go for CGS again. As Pioneer, we're coming up on time for him. Going to try to lock Shadow into place. Now, so you see that Shadow jumped? Well, you're not supposed to be able to hit him, but if you time it, Shadow is vulnerable as he's coming down, and he can hit him in place. We'll see Pioneer having a little bit of issues.
Oh, he's sticking around for it.
He'll be fine.
Got it. That was time.
Bounce in time. 38:44 is the final time for Pioneer. A fantastic run by Pioneer. All 3 of these runners doing a really good job. Estimate is 45, and they're all very, very capable of getting that. I'm sure they will be just fine, as Glenn looks like he's going to successfully do Final Rush, unless he had something go wrong that I don't know about. I'm actually not familiar with his positioning. I think it's because of the 4-3. The screen doesn't come up as I'm used to it. He should be fine. We'll take a peek. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to hit the kill plane. Okay, he went right enough. I think he's fine. zellnuueon is about to get a chance to complete CGS, see if he can do the timing right. As Glenn's going to get a very beautiful Final Rush. Come on, zellnuueon, you got this. Yes, you do. Nice work by zellnuuon. Going to complete CGS, as Glenn going to be entering Shadow 2 momentarily.
I was a little worried that zellnuueon was too high.
Yep, zellnuueon's a veteran runner. He knows how to do those adjustments, and he is just fine. And now Glenn going to be taking on Shadow 2, see if he can lock Shadow into place. We'll see if he can do this. And let's see. Actually going to accidentally hit some rings. Unfortunately, the ring dash can be really lame. But Glenn is going to try to recover from that. Okay, he's got it. Oops, jumped a little too early. Having a couple issues, but he'll be okay.
There we go. See,
as zellnuueon, he'll be fine. zellnuueon going to get Eggman 2. One more hit, and time of 40-41 coming out for Glenn. A fantastic run by him, as zellnuueon is going to be finishing us up. Can we get some ones in chat to support zellnuueon, because he is a fantastic runner. This is a #1 quality race. Let's get some ones going in the chat if you think these racers are doing a fantastic job. Let's go. I see some ones. I want more ones. Give zellnuueon all of your power as he is going for final rush skip. We'll see. Gonna get his angle. Give zellnuueon your energy. He needs more of it. More of it. More ones. zellnuueon is actually taking a really steep angle. I'm actually not familiar with this, but I'm sure he has his setup. We'll see. Oh, never mind. Okay, he actually knew that his angle was too steep, I think. Give him some energy. Give him some love. zellnuueon can very well get underestimate. And he needs all the energy he can get. Gonna take a bit of a different strat. That's okay for him. And we'll see. zellnuueon gonna go off. Needs to hold the angle. I believe with this angle, a little steeper than I'm used to as well. Is that a 14-second turn? Well, I'm not sure. Let's see how he turns. Oh, stream is okay. He's gonna... I'm not super familiar with his setup. Didn't hit any kill planes. I'm sure he'll have enough height, though. That's my hope, at least. I'm not familiar with his setup. It's a little different than what I'm used to. But, you know, the thing with SA2 is there's so many different ways to do strats. So, really what it comes down to is, do you know your setups? Can you do your setups fine? And as long as it works, that's kind of what matters. I mean, certainly there's more efficient ways to do certain things. Oh, yeah, zellnuueon's got plenty of height. Might get caught by the wall, but doesn't matter if you get caught by the wall if he knows how to angle himself. Should be... Yep,
yeah,
he's fine. Fantastic job by zellnuueon. Getting final rush skip. Excellent work by all three of these racers going for FR skip. Doing very good. zellnuueon going to be closing us out with the final showdown between Sonic and Shadow. And we will see who the true faker is after all. Will it be Sonic or will it be Shadow? All right, they're off to the races. How's this gonna go? zellnuueon gonna get the first hit.
Oh, he goes for the
second hit. Goes for a bit of a different strat than I'm used to. Goes for his third hit, gets the fourth hit. Will he get the clean Shadow? And he does. Nice. Time 43. 43 was his final time. And a phenomenal, absolutely fantastic job by all three of these racers. All getting well below the estimates. Some close races. That one was close to up until Meteor Herd, the RNG, and then, of course, CGSS. Piner, you're going to do a fantastic job using some more advanced strats and some good speed in order to take care of business in this race. But Glenn and zellnuueon also putting up some very flashy and good runs. Congratulations to all three runners for a fantastic race. And a big thank you to all of you for coming out and watching. Have any words to say, Dai?
No, well, other than just that was an amazing race. How close Piner and Glenn were there for a while definitely helped out to bring some hype to the race. And overall, it was a good showing from all of them.
Amen to that. I suppose we can do an interview if we have the time. I suppose we can get all three of these runners in if that is appropriate. If the marathon organizer so deems it, I'm okay to do it.
I am perfectly okay with that. Let's bring the boys back out.
There you are. Hi, Piner.
Hello.
Congratulations on a win. Very well earned.
Somebody might as well drag zellnuueon isn't in here, because I think I forgot to tell him. That's Glenn.
We got a
There's
Glenn.
zellnuueon.
Let's see if Glenn will unmute. There he is.
Hello.
Well, congratulations to the three of you on a fantastic race. How did you feel? How did you feel it went?
That was nuts, dude. Like I was watching, Glenn's like 8 seconds ahead, and then he messes up Bigfoot, and then he gets like a 10-second faster than me, Wild Canyon, and then he like dies in prison lane. And then,
I pretty much had your stereotypical bad luck in a marathon.
but you also got you had a good Wild Canyon, and
It's a good Wild Canyon.
better
I
fucking
think
hill than I did, and a better Death Chamber than I did as well. All by about 10 seconds.
I blew it once Meteor Herd came around though.
Yeah, that meteor.
I couldn't do anything about that though. I couldn't
Yeah,
paid
no.
for worse RNG.
That was.
I thought about killing myself. I like, oh, there's a weight over there, and
Oh,
then,
some death
but
straps?
I mean,
that would have been some hot strats.
I don't know. And then I was hoping in Mission Street maybe I could get the swag jump off the ruins for Zero Cycle, but it was not meant to be.
Nah, you did a good job. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
well.
saw Zellnuueon got minecart dumping area.
Yeah,
I heard about it because I was
I
watching, and I was like, oh, geez.
Angry about that RNG.
Yeah, and then behind
Yeah,
us, another
that
tree
was
to top it off.
justifiable anger. That is so, but that is something.
Did anybody hit C skip or no?
No.
No one did.
Okay,
I don't go for it.
fair.
So I guess I'm kind of curious, Pioneer, how are you feeling? I mean, of course you had a pretty solid meteor herd, and then going into CGSS. I mean, I'm sure that point can oftentimes be one of great stress. How did you feel in Crazy Gadget?
All right, so here's what happened. I would see what happened on the stream. Like, okay, I can only miss this once if I still want to be ahead. Because I had assumed that Glenn was going to go for CGSS as well. After messing up Rouge, I was going in there like, okay, I can only do this once. After messing up Rouge, I was like messed it up once. So I get out of bounds, and I'm like, all right, what's happening? This might happen, right? Because at that point, I have to do the out of bounds movement, which is incredibly difficult. And so I really try to do what I can. I get it, and then zellnuueon can attest that I scream and pop the fuck off. Swear jar, my bad. Let me get 100 bits in the chat for that swear, my bad.
Just do what I did. Throw money at the marathon. There you go.
Yeah, throw money. Throw money.
Just throw money around. It's fine.
That works.
But yeah, so I was pretty excited about that. And at that point, I was like, all right, this is pretty much in the bag. And then I noticed that Glenn went for CGS, which surprised me. And then I heard he died at the end of it.
Yeah, I had a little bit of misalignment there and went a little over too far.
Big oof. That's all I got to say.
But yeah,
about
there
that.
is no CGSS in my arsenal, so.
It's a hard skip to do, and I was really, I mean, it is not an easy skip to hit. So the fact that we got to see it at all is kind of a treat, really.
Yeah.
I am a little bit disappointed that nobody hit wall run and nobody hit C skip, but I mean, hey, it happens.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, CE skip is really precise. Wall run is just mechanically really hard to get down, and CGSS, I mean, is quite the beast to try and conquer. I mean, you're jumping through in lanes. You have to know how to maneuver, and then you have to, once you're out of bounds, you have to understand how to move, and you have to know positioning. So it's definitely not
Definitely, I agree.
easy.
I think the mistake I made was I moved my control stick up left a little too far and too early
Sure.
on my attempt, but
Mm.
camera didn't exactly help me either. Oh, well.
Di, did you have any questions for the runners?
Not that I can think of. I think it was you've covered pretty much everything.
Well, actually, before we go, though, I want to say congrats to everybody for a great race, especially Glenn. I was nuts watching live. Like, because I was watching in between levels with the emblem cutscene and all of that, and that was something else, man. And
Yeah, I was
zellnuueon,
looking
played
back and forth
really
with the
well.
chat, and I was like seeing, oh, sync hype, and then yeah, I was like, what? Because I had the chat up, but that's all.
Yeah, I'll end the chat. I'm honestly I'm perfectly okay with how I played. I'm just so annoyed with the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phones
you were
have
having
frame
frame
drops?
drops and everything.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure if it popped up on stream, but I had your friend is playing this game.
Yeah, I saw you go into your Steam profile. I was like, oh, something happened.
Yeah, I think Tails' face said it all. It's like, boat saver. Really? Really?
That's why especially when I started running SA2, I was like, well, I don't want to get annoyed if I stream this especially, so default, offline, done.
Right.
Yep, that's what I do.
Nah.
Well, unless I'll let you guys, as the runners, have the last word. Thank you all for watching. I'm Seraphim, and Daisuke Miro is my co-commentator. He's fantastic, and yeah, I'll leave you guys to the runners now as we go into a break, or I think actually the exhibition, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah. So,
We have that.
Piner, if you're not too crazy about game audio, actually have you prepped and ready to go.
Oh, I have. I mean, like, the game audio will be important for one thing.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I gotta go switch rooms. I will be right back.